Now.
Really weird. There's just high schools. You have Bethel, and then you have Bardstown, and Thomas Nelson down the road. It's just a
There's a fair amount of young professionals here in Louisville who have gone
it's cheaper than
It's really nice.
How you doing?
Yeah, we were down there for some the first year that they tickets, I guess.
They usually never did that. Yeah, when I went to high school there, it would always, the film festival started during school hours. So you see all this happening across the street. Okay, but as soon as you get home, everybody. Off the record, they definitely weren't. Water.
Yeah, they make it still.
Four Roses one of them moved. One was literally down the road. Then you have neighboring parking.
How much are parking?
It's been tempting some days, especially seeing how expensive apartments up here.
45 inside or so?
45 minutes, so you hop on, so you just take Barcelona Road. I used to actually drive, I lived in First Creek and I drive to Lake Hornet. Carson Road and then Louisville Road becomes a thing. So, yeah, from that side it's Louisville. And it's like, when I first moved there, I was like, yeah, I think Barstown Road, and like, what do you mean? And I was like, it's Barstown Road. Oh, no, you mean Louisville Road. I was like, a little confused there.
It's going to be a cool place to be.
Oh, yeah. It'd be nice, actually. I wouldn't mind it.
North from that.
Yeah. Last night we did a story on Breckenridge. Got home, got to the station at 12. Got home at 1 a.m. We had a school meeting. Originally we were going to come back to the station at it, but kind of ran long. I'm like, okay, I don't think I'll have time if we drive back now to do this. I'm going to go ahead and be old. No. We have Katrina Nichols. Yeah. She's kind of away. Which is kind of strange because she's a years Green Bay. not a Packer fan.
A friend of mine just applied for a job at Grand Madison. Because on the other side,
One is Battle Creek. You get a whole lot of stuff. They hate it there though. Probably not busier than
I heard they just there's a PBS station opening up a
a lot of positions opening up. It's kind of like Lexington, they just opened a new station.
Really? Really? Yeah.
With call letters and numbers, but they just not enough runners to want to do it.
Who owns the
Not Gray either. Gray has a big IT.
Next car's over now.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, I think so. Our story today was Noah. So that was neat all night. It's super fun. Allergic to grass.
Are you?
For a gallon jug.
Huh. I just had a cheeseburger. Or can.
Every single time. One of my favorite pizza places in Louisville is the Post. So we did a story at Fox. We're like, oh, like it's like across, we'll go get it. We get in there and like it's super busy. We're in my pizza place. I was gathering from everybody, getting contacts, things like that. So I hate that I forgot my card. It's like that crazy way to get the story. Yeah, but I'll sit down and send you emails after. Yeah, it is.
Yes. That's pretty cool though. I like that.
Yeah, I never got one and I was like, that's pretty much vital.
Yeah. It's a little heavy.
Mic check.
But always pretty much. Can't knock it off. Don't worry about it.
I don't think it was too high at all.
I mean, all in all, I think, $50, I think. Yeah, they get 2 clamps and then
Good evening. I think this is all. Is it all? I need to bring it down so my mouth and the microphone connect, right? Okay. Welcome to Russell Place of Promise, 30th and Madison, Pitch Night. My name is Jackie Floyd. I am the lead community outreach specialist with Russell Place of Promise. Even though I do not have on a Russell Place of Promise shirt like everybody else do, I still work for them, okay? So I just want to let y'all know. Okay, and I know you're wondering, what is RPOP? Who is RPOP? Russell Place of Promise is a justice-based initiative focused on generating investments in the people and places that make the Russell neighborhood so very, very special. RPOP's vision for Russell. Our vision of building Black wealth through investment without displacement includes sharing decision-making and leadership with residents through an innovative partnership pledge written in collaboration with Russell residents, connected individuals and families to resources leading to home ownership and traditional and non-traditional business ownership, building pathways and opportunities to strengthen existing Black-owned businesses, creating innovative connections to career track jobs and community ownership of neighborhood assets. You see how they got the slides, they want to keep me on track, okay? They know I get out. RPOP's form. Russell Place of Promise is being incubated within Cities United and Metro Government. Louisville Metro Government is a fiscally sponsored project of the Community Foundation of Louisville, a 501c3 public charity. In 2023, RPOP will become its own entity selected by the Russell residents. Okay. Our vision, Russell, A Place of Promise vision is to build Black wealth through investment without displacement. Okay. People's first investments. People first investments. RPOP's theory of change involves investing in people first to solidify long-term, authentic, and meaningful partnership with Black residents and centering residents' leadership in organizational decision-making, direction, and strategy. This approach relies heavily on direct, sustained, and wide-ranging relationship building with residents. And I like to say partnership with residents, okay? Investing in people before substantial investment is made in the place of the Russell neighborhood results in capital investment structured to be responsive to and rooted in the interests of Russell residents, restorative, equitable, resilient, and loved by community. Thank you. Oh, this is long. Okay. RPOP's partnership. The partnership pledge is a guide for RPOP's residents and partners to use in creating future decision-making process around investments, strategies, policy, and advocacy, and our future organizational forum from now until our launch. The partnership pledge is a tool to outline voices and practices RPOP staff, advisory board, and partners should follow to ensure alignment with residents' vision. The partnership pledge is a living document subject to change as necessary. And I hope everybody has the opportunity to sign the partnership pledge as you leave. I will be at that door checking to see if your name is on the partnership pledge. Potential outcomes. Community cohesiveness, resident-centered developments, shared decision-making in the Russell neighborhood, protect the neighborhood with community will. The partnership pledge holds the potential to drive our Russell residents partners, wait a minute, let me change that. Russell resident partners and residents engage in investments, future strategies, policy and advocacy, and community involvement. The pledge is a dynamic living document subject to change as necessary. Madison Street property. The 5-acre property across from the Urban League Sports and Learning Complex is right over there. Yes, over there. Currently owned by Louisville Metro Government. The goal is to create development with shared ownership for Russell residents at a variety of uses defined by Russell residents that serve neighborhood residents and visitors. Part of RPOP's wealth building model, collective ownership of neighborhood assets. Madison Street's property history. Okay. The former American Cigar Company warehouse was a large manufacturing employer operating in the neighborhood since 1905. The building was vacant even prior to the City of Louisville acquisition in 2011. The warehouses burned and were demolished starting in June of 2020. The northern edge of the site once featured many residential parcels which were demolished several decades ago. And see where we're at, the Sports and Learning Center, and that's 30th and Madison, right there, and that's LDG proposed apartments. Our high-level timeline, June 30th, the first pitch session and survey. July, early meetings with Metro Council representatives to discuss the project. RPOP's work group graduation recommendations made to the community on uses and community ownership model for Madison Street. That will be July the 16th. Community votes on work group recommendations. In August, the second pitch session and survey. Introduction of resolution requesting property surplus, September through December. Complete property surveys, surplus, transfer property, continue community conversation, and work with consultants on use, design, and other aspects of development. Thank you all.
See if y'all was awake. You know what I mean?
We are now.
And I'm here to take this off. This is not needed. All right, so y'all had already set the mood, but I need to know if there are any Russell residents in the space. Now this one ain't working. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. All right. Any Russell residents in the space? I know y'all hear make some noise. So everybody repeat after me. Our community. Our voice. Our choice. So we just want to make it known that this space is going to acknowledge and put first the Russell residents. So when it comes time to ask questions, we are going to put preference over our Russell residents. We do welcome everyone, but our Russell residents is who this is for and who needs to take precedence over everybody else in the room. So now that we got that out the way, let me acknowledge some people that are in the building. So we have Miss Ebonique and her family, they are here. Gabe and Kayla's in the building. Miss Ruth and Diane, too. Miss Diane's are in the building, and David, Mr. Frank McNeil, and Markham. All of these people are either Russell residents or part of our Russell for Russell Resident Coalition, so they helped us come up with the partnership pledge. We also have Victor Sweat in the building, Miss Nita, Miss Jackie, and the wonderful, beautiful Margot, who helps us out quite often, is one of our brand ambassadors as well. And then we have Diane Porter, and welcome to Facebook. We are streaming this to Facebook. Oh, and Miss Shalane, I heard you was in the building too. I cannot. Hey, beautiful. Welcome. All right, so today during our pitch session, we have a few participants. So we have 925 Sports. Mr. Frank Johnson is here. We have the Jamon Brown Foundation. Jamon Brown and Danny is here. We have my play cousins. They in the building. Kristen, where you at? And then we have the wonderful Mr. Dave Christopher. He's already putting in action. He helped us with our tech today, so welcome to him. And then JCPS, I heard y'all was in the building as well. All right. So, the rules. These are the rules, okay? Remember the 7s. You have 7 slides, 7 minutes, and you're going to be answering 7 questions, okay? So you will have 5 minutes of audience questions. You know, if you go over your 7 minutes, I'm going to be like, you know, hey, thank you guys. Give them a hand, give them a hand. I'm going to try not to be rude, but I will escort you off the stage, okay? Because we got 7 minutes. It's going to be time for all presenters. So when you hear Teresa's timer go off, that means that your time is up. And it's time for us to move on to the next thing. And then we have a 30-minute open house for additional questions and conversations. And remember that we are going to prioritize the Russell residents during this time, okay? And that's it. All right, and then Teresa is going to come up. You're not going to come up. I'm going to tell y'all about the pitch session topics. So the pitch session topics that we have is the team introduction. The second question they have is they will ask her, what do you want to build at Madison Street? Who is your use for, and what are your space needs? The third question is, what does your project look like? The fourth question is, what does your project cost? The fifth question, why do you want to be a part of the Madison Street development? Then the sixth question, how does your project align with RPOP's goal of building Black wealth? And then the last question is, how does your project align with RPOP's partnership pledge that Ms. Jackie just explained before? So those are the 7 questions. Welcome to all the participants, all the residents, and everybody for coming out to our pitch session. So first up, we have 925 Sports Corporation, whose mission, the mission of 925 Sports is to utilize sports to empower youth to become exemplary leaders of the next generation. So welcome to 925 Sports.
Thank y'all for having me. Whoa. All right, you said you got a timer over there?
We do have a timer, 7 minutes.
All right, well, I can't hear good. I got the hearing aids and certain sounds I don't hear, so I ain't gonna hear your timer. No, I'm messing with you. I'm gonna be quicker than 7 minutes. Hey, thank y'all for having us here on this stage today. Just tell a little bit about what we do and what we're trying to do. My name is Frank Johnson. I'm the director of 925 Sports. We're a 501c3 nonprofit utilizing sports to help the next generation. 925 is under inspiration of 1 Corinthians 9:25. And it says that all athletes are disciplined in their training, and they do that to win a prize that'll fade away, but we do it for eternal prize. So although we're using sports, it's more than baseball, it's more than sports for us. It's about lifelong skills. Introducing our kids, right now we have 2 teams. We're a minority travel ball organization. We have the Mid-South Monarchs, and we have the Kentucky Diamonds. And we got some of our kids and parents here, so I'll just ask y'all to stand right quick, say hello for me. And so, with the Mid-South Monarchs and with the Kentucky Diamonds, when we was coming up, every community had their own little baseball organization going on. All right, each community had like a little sect of pride going on with the baseball, but now all has changed. Everything has moved to travel baseball. Youth sports is a $19 billion business, and unfortunately, it done faded a lot of people out. So our community is one of those people that's faded out, and we're just trying to change that. So what we here today, we want to pitch is, we're looking to do an indoor baseball facility, and we're going to call it the 9th Indoor Facility. Our audience, we're looking to bring youth, high school, college, professional, and baseball and softball players to this facility. Our kids right now, we train out there at Poplar level, we train out on Preston Highway, and we're looking to do something to bring in something in the West End, not only just for our kids, but all the kids that are looking to play baseball. And baseball is one of those sports that we said, look, if you learn how to deal with failure, you'll be able to succeed. In baseball, the Hall of Famers fail 70% of the time. Hall of Famers. And as a teacher, I see kids every day who don't know how to deal with failure. So that's one thing we're trying to teach our kids is, all right, yes, you're going to fail, but what you going to do up after that? So we want to, thank you. We want to have a space that's 4,800 square feet. And in this space, we can have pitching lanes, we can have hitting lanes, and the kids be able to work all year long. And that's the only way they're going to be able to catch up to the outside, to the people in these other communities, these other organizations who have year-round access to this. Slide 3, this is kind of what it looks like. You have 3 pitching lanes, 3 hitting lanes, And then we also have space so we can do a little classroom activity, go over baseball stuff, but also academic stuff. So our vision is when you come in from school, you get your academic done first before you even move to the baseball stuff. And also on the inside, we want to have a tribute to the Negro Leagues. We want to make sure that they understand that there's people that came before them that allow them to do what they're doing today. A project cost. Now this cost looking at if we was building constructing something on our own, a metal building. Facility development cost is $140,000. Capital cost to put everything in there we need is $73,000. Operating budget is $185,000, which is a total of $398,400. Now, if this was something we was doing, we was going to build inside somewhere, then we're looking at $258,000. Slide 5. So why Madison Street? What Russell Place of Promise is doing and what y'all doing for the community is what we're trying to do for our baseball community, for our black kids. Not only our black kids, but there's some white kids they're told they're not good enough to play. And so we want to bring in not only black kids, but white kids who've been told they don't have the access to it. So the first thing is we want to make sure that our kids have access to a facility. If they want to play the game, they have everything they need to do. Also, we want to be able to change the game. Baseball is a sport that right now, athleticism has been taken away from it. And so we want to put that back in there. And the last thing, like y'all doing with Russell Place of Promise, we want to make sure that we lay the blueprint. This ain't just something that's going to stop with us. We want to bring this to other communities. So the goal of building black wealth. And like I said before, I'm a teacher. And in America, in order to build wealth, it's a correlation between your educational wealth. All right, so what we're looking to do is make sure that these kids have all the academic tools they need to be able to succeed. And statistics have proven that athletes have better attendance records and better grades in school. So we want to set them up not only for high school, but in order to get them a college scholarship. Now, when you say everybody's going to get a college scholarship, we saying that if you want to play college baseball, if you got the grades, we can get you somewhere to play. It might not be Louisville, but it's going to be a school where you can play. Now, if we get you in school and you have the academics and you have the athletics, now you're going to school and you don't have to pay for it. College baseball is one of those sports where you don't get a full scholarship. But if a coach see a minority who have potential, he'd be able to give him more academic money just based off his minority status, and then you'd be able to get a full ride. So we get a full ride, then you graduate in college debt-free. And that helps with the generational wealth. Slide 7. So how does this line up with the partnership pledge? We will dismantle barriers that historically and currently stymie black entrepreneurship and self-determination. You look at these kids here. These are kids from the West End, from different parts of the community, who was told in Louisville that they weren't good enough to play. Last year, we took these kids to Charlotte. They came in second place in Charlotte, North Carolina. We took them to Virginia. They came in first place in Virginia. These kids came back to Louisville with a hunger to get better. So just like y'all doing, destroying barriers and giving these kids, opportunities to the communities, that's what we're trying to do here. Because these are your next entrepreneurs. Thank you.
So give it up one more time for 925 Sports. I love the connection to, you said it was Corinthians 925? I love that. I'm going to look that up later. So now we're going to have 5 minutes of questioning. 5 minutes of questioning. And RPOP team, who has the mics, we have Danaea and Cassandra that are walking around with mics. Again, we are going to prioritize Russell residents during this time first.
Yes, where are you currently operating out of?
We're nomads. So this year we've been mostly, our 10-year-old team has been out of Indiana. Our 13-year-old team, we practice out of Southern. We've been at Shawnee. We've been at Barnsley Middle School. We just go wherever we can find the field. But that's one thing. Unfortunately, it's hard to find baseball fields that's in good condition for these kids to play on. So.
Hi, thank you for the exciting presentation. Going on the assumption that you do get the product that you just proposed, what would your space needs be, do you project 5 years down the road?
5 years down the road, we're hoping to outgrow this thing, because right now, I have parents waiting for kids to come in. Unfortunately, I don't have the coaches for that. So if we get a facility, I know that's going to help get us some kids that we can't get right now because the bigger organizations have facilities. So in 5 years, if we get these kids that's asking to come in, I see it's going to be something we're going to need to just double it. Or, like I said, do this also again in another part of town.
So what you're looking at, what was it, about 8,400 square feet?
No, 4,800.
4,800.
Yes.
So, but potentially, if you didn't move, you would need probably double or triple that amount.
In 5 years, just to go. Yes.
All right, we got 3 more minutes, y'all.
I wanted to ask you, are your teams part of a league, or they just get games where they?
No, we're a travel organization. So the younger kids is more developmental. We play more Louisville inside. It's all gonna move from leagues to tournaments. There's more money in tournaments, and that's what they're doing now. So if you want to play the best, you have to go play these tournaments in order for these kids to compete. So our younger kids usually play Louisville around here, may go 3 hours, one trip. But my bigger kids, next week we be in Illinois. After that, we're going to Indianapolis, then we're Sandusky, Ohio, and then we come back to Lexington. So it's a lot of travel involved, and that's what having a facility helps them compete when they get outside here.
Well, my name is.
I just wanted to know, how are you going about teaching the children how to lose? In every situation, there's winners and losers, and everybody loves a winner. But hey, I don't know if you remember, but Edison, he tried the light bulb. How many times before it worked? He was a loser for 1,000 until. So I'm just trying to find out, how are you going about teaching them to be good sports and learn how to lose gracefully, so that they can build on that foundation rather than feel like they've been dejected?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, we under the inspiration of 925. So everything we do is rooted and grounded in the Christian aspect. Now, I'm not out there preaching to them all the time, but that's what we rooted out of. Baseball is a game of failure. You're going to fail. There's no doubt about it. And it's just learning how to deal with that to overcome that.
All right, one more, Asha.
Hello. I'm not in Russell. I'm in Victory Park area, so I'm close. But I wanted to know, how would you be able to accommodate kids with special needs or females who are interested in baseball?
Okay, so what we're looking to do is, because, like I said, they changed the game and they made it where everything's travel. Our organization, we understand that it's some kids that just want to play baseball. Some parents that just want their kids to be able to do something. So we won't be able to provide a league for them to do that. Then there are some kids that say, hey, I want to move to the next level, and that's where travel ball come into. And then our last is our group that we have our exposure kids, where we bring in we got kids from Michigan and West Virginia on our exposure team right now. So it's 3 levels to that we're trying to do.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right. So just a reminder to everybody else who's pitching, or just a little tidbit, Miss Teresa and Miss Jackie are over here with signs for you. So they have a 5-minute sign, a 3-minute sign, and a 1-minute sign to keep you on track as you give me your presentation, okay? So with that being said, we got the Jamon Brown Foundation coming up next. Y'all welcome them into the space.
Good evening. My name is Danny Mosby. I am the Executive Director of the Jamon Brown Foundation. I've been the executive director since 2017, the biggest blessing of my life. We are here to discuss the Jamon Brown Foundation Empowerment Center, which is a two-pronged plan to attack the violence that is curbing our youth and young adults in our city. There's been a lot of too many, whether it's JCPS or just random violence and violence between even our young women, that we are overly concerned about and have been concerned about for 2 years. And so we want to let all of you know at this moment that this is an introduction for partnership. We are not trying to reinvent the wheel. We are trying to duplicate services and become a incubator for nonprofit. Can we give a round of applause for that? Because we do not have that in our community. All right, and so the center right now at 22nd and Jefferson, we have an initiative that has already started that involves affordable housing and an empowerment center. What we want the 30th and Madison site to be is an extension of that 22nd and Madison initiative, which will also incorporate affordable housing for young black professionals, new teachers, new black police officers, doctors, lawyers, bankers, et cetera, as well as a new skating rink and a bowling alley. How many of you guys were around when Big A Shopping Center had a bowling alley, right? All right, what about Mr. Burns and Broadway Roller Rink, right? It's been decades since we've had a skating rink, and we feel like if our kids can have that type of entertainment and that type of safe place, and also have wraparound services, we feel like if you know better, you'll do better, all right? So, but at the end of the day, I know you guys are here to hear from him. This is Jamon Brown. I am just here to execute the goals of he and his family. I have a tough job. He's a tough boss to work for, but he's a cool dude. All right. So Jamon played at the University of Louisville. We are both from the West End, born and raised, and we're proud to say so. Jamon even lived in Russell, so that is part of our why. Okay. So he's born and bred Russell. He also was drafted by the St. Louis Rams in the 2015 draft, and then played for the LA Rams, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Philadelphia Eagles. So without further ado, I see some young athletes back in the corner. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. When all of you guys are gonna make it, but what I mean by this is what it looks like is he comes from certain types of circumstances, he made it, and he's giving back.
Thank you. I would, it's kind of hard to follow that introduction, so to speak, but like Danny said, my name is Jamon Brown, and I stand here in front of you all, a Russell result. I played from California Jets, right, to working out on Saturdays with my dad at St. Stephen's Life Center. This is my neighborhood. This is where I want to be. And so part of climbing to success, what I wanted to intentionally do was be a beacon of hope for my community, right? And for people that come from where I come from, to inspire them to dream big, right? Dream big, but then there is a village that can help you reach those dreams, right? So the Empowerment Center's whole intent is to create a resource hub that not only our youth can be connected to, but their families, right? Can connect to this facility, this venue, and be connected to different entities, nonprofit, for-profit, youth leagues, but just create a space that can wrap around our community and give us the opportunity to reach some of the limitless possibilities that's out there. Like Danny said, we've got young athletes here. All I've tried to do is be an example of reaching really a level that they say is impossible, right? Having obstacles and circumstances that stacked against me, being able to show how to persevere, how to, find that village, right, that can help you reach that level of success and how to do that. And so the Empowerment Center, as you can see, takes about $30 million to do. We plan to bring, again, luxury apartments and condos for our young black professionals while creating a space that can bring people together. Right, you see right here, retail space, right? I want to be able to allow our black business owners a space to get out there, have a platform, right? I was on the NFL, one of the biggest platforms in the nation, and all I've tried to do was partner with other entities to increase and amplify their platform. So again, you can see the bowling alley and the skating rink, right? That was my way of trying to kind of rekindle some of the things we've lost, and also some of the things that's near and dear to me that brought a lot of friends and family out. And again, like I said, my why is I'm a Russell result. I stand in front of you again, having the Russell believe in me, and being able to wrap around me and help me stay focused on the journey. So the Empowerment Center is here to empower Russell. Thank you.
It is short and sweet, but how do we align with RPOP's partnership, and how do we align with RPOP's goals? Our affordable housing initiative will teach young black professionals financial literacy and put them on a path toward home ownership. We were talking about.
So, I was drafted. Part of when I was drafted, I was drafted to St. Louis. There was a luxury apartments with retail space, which rookies moved into. I felt like that was what helped me put me on the trajectory of home ownership within 3 years of being in my career. The ideal is if our youth and our young adults are put into a situation that can put them on that trajectory, the same results could happen. And so that's the idea behind it.
Well, give it up again for the Jamal Brown. Again, we have 5 minutes for questions from the community. So we have Danaya and Cassandra again walking around.
Hello, thank you for that presentation. My question centers around, community land trust. So we're looking at being, having a community land trust for the community. Are you willing as an investor to not own the property? And is it okay for you just to invest in the building and the structure more so than the land?
Of course, I may not have mentioned that, but a part of what we started is in partnership with the Russell, right? And one thing that was intentional for them is ensuring that the residents has their space in this opportunity. What we want is to create a platform, not to control the space. So the whole intent is to help bring resources to the space that then makes whatever Russell's vision or dream is for that space come to life.
Thank you.
Any more questions? No? If not, let's give it up again for Alright, that was awesome. We're moving right along. So next we have Kristen Williams with Play Cousins Collective. So welcome her into the stage. Don't start the clock yet.
All right. Hey, family. Hey. My name is Kristen Williams, and I'm the... Hello? Oh, okay. Hi. My name is Kristen Williams. I'm the Executive Director for Play Cousins Collective. When I became pregnant with my first son, Opari, I started to do research on what it was going to take for me to raise him as a black parent. And I quickly came across some challenges. I found the Mammy and Clark, or the Kenneth and Mammy Clark doll test. Raise your hand if you've seen this doll test. All right, so for those of you who don't know, in 1940, they placed 2 dolls in front of multiple different races of children. And they asked the kids, you know, can you show me, the dolls are identical except for their skin color. Now, can you show me the ugly doll? Can you show me the pretty doll? Can you show me the smart doll? Can you show me the dumb doll? And what they found was resoundingly that the children came back and they said, the black doll is the ugly doll. The black doll is the stupid doll, right? Now that was 1940. But every few years they drag that test out the closet and they ask our children, which doll is the pretty doll? And you would think that that answer would change, but the answer keeps coming back the same. And so I knew in that moment that something was missing. Something's not right. And it's going to take more than me and my husband to build a framework in my child's mind that's going to last. It's 5, listen. Okay, listen, okay? It's going to take more than me. It's going to take more than my family. It's going to take a whole village slide, all right? So in 2016, my husband and I, we went out and we started looking for people that had that same mindset. And in 2017, we started Play Cousins Collective. From that day, we now have 1,000 members and 36 employees. We're offering the programming that you see here: village youth programming, the Mazizi Homeschool Co-op, community programming, where we pop up in our bright green shirts and we're doing the Play and Learn labs, support groups like Brother Healing Brother and Soul Sisters, advocacy for the Ready for K Alliance, the Black Census Project, resource sharing, where we offer a directory of Black service providers and a community calendar. We're touching about 200 families a month in person, thousands online. We are preparing 300 children for kindergarten every year. It's hard to, it's more than numbers, right? It's like you go out into nature and you see a spider building a web and you know you can go and study and try to figure out the science behind it, but this is what we need. Next slide. Why do we need it? Well, this is our life expectancy here, right? Years are being shaved off of our lives, and that's not right. There is a calculated exploitation, but we are the resource, okay? People in power in Louisville recognized that we were the resource, so they relegated that resource, those people, to one part of the town so that they can extract that wealth and that capital more easily, right? And so when you're a child, you might think, oh, it's the black doll and the black is bad. But in reality, there is a systemic issue. You can look at the tree, you can see the fruit is divorce, mental illness, substance abuse. They're these ACEs that are plaguing us. But the roots are a systemic issue. So how do we deal with that? What if we stopped hemorrhaging our power, our land, and our resources? What if we promised to do the work in ourselves, family, and community that meant our children would not inherit generational trauma? All right, now, I want you to believe that this world already exists, because it does. You can take your blinders off. Welcome to the village. Right now, you can gather with Black therapists monthly and Soul Sisters and Brother Healing Brother. You can receive free therapy from our partners at the Collective Care Center. Today, you can join one of the 5 parenting groups based on the age of your child to meet like-minded parents and ensure your child is meeting their developmental milestones. Right now, Play Cousins Collective is holding space for your child. When they enter, they hear music that affirms their existence. I love my hair, I love my skin. Books are being read that reflect their experience and expand their imaginations. We're building safe places for Black children. Next slide. Right now, Black educators like LaToya Whitlock of Decode are there to see the greatness in your child. She taught my child how to read. Teaching in ways that are not first practiced in the school system sometimes, but first nature to our children. Louisville's own Black inventor of the day, Jokari Beatty, is the science teacher at the Mazizi Homeschool Co-op. Kwame Watson of Care Mobile can pull up right now, and you can access a list of doctors in our directory. There are free piano and violin lessons accessible at Play Cousins Collective, courtesy of AMPT. In Play Cousins, community calendar events and resources from the Urban League, Russell Place of Promise, Roots 101, and so many more are pulled together and amplified. Next slide. And we don't do it alone. What's really great about if you stand with Play Cousins Collective, Play Cousins never shows up alone. You're bringing all of these amazing partners with you. We're gonna bring all these amazing partners with us. This group here is looking for a property right now. We're looking all over West Louisville, but we don't want to go past. We want to be here with you. I want to be here with you, and we need this for our families. And so, 1 minute. Okay. Ask me questions about my amazing partners, okay? This is the type of space that we want here. We feel that ancestral methods of healing and resilience, there's an integral part of that tied to nature, and we want to see a natural playground for our children so they can grow those social and emotional skills and be powerful in nature. We want to grow food. We want to prepare that food in the commercial kitchen. What's really great is that the Lee Initiative has promised funding and support to help us build our commercial kitchen. We want to have the Cousins Cafe where we partner with the Black Market and Good Food Lou to prepare food and sell it in the cafe. We need 5 classrooms for our Mazizi Homeschool Co-op and for Decode. We need a maker space so that our children can bring, not even just our children, but our adults. There's nothing like this. We need that space so that we can bring Afrofuturism into reality. All right? We need a small conference room and large event space so we can have Kwanzaa, parent cafes, summer camps, conferences, so we can do workshops on gentle child rearing and how to teach your children how to read. And now I prepare for my questions. Thank you. I could go on.
All right, so the floor's open. We got 5 minutes of questions. I think Frank Neal is first, and then we got you right here in the beautiful look.
I can shout.
Well, he's
That's my kid. Hi. You mentioned the activities. What kind of space requirements are you looking at?
We're looking for about 40,000 square feet, and that includes the space that's outdoors.
I have 2 questions. How much is, what's your estimated project cost, and how does this project respond to the Russell Place of Promise pledge?
So our project cost is $800,000 to $900,000, and what's amazing is that we have been in relationship with Russell Place of Promise from the onset. And so we've been there to create the Ujamaa workbook and teach our children about financial literacy, and to showcase, do literal storytelling about the beautiful Black businesses that already exist in the Russell neighborhood and throughout West Louisville. So we're completely aligned, and we want a space. I was gonna ask us to stand. If you're a play cousin or you're in relationship, stand, will you please? We are here.
Any other questions?
I'm in relationship, but tell me more about those partners.
Thank you for asking. So, can we go back to the slide? Okay, so we are out looking for a property to host our partners in programming. We want to do this together. What's great is that Decode will be in this space with us. They'll be leading classes on how to read and working with the whole family, because literacy is more than just the child learning to read, but how do we support that? How do I build an environment for that? Jobe Products, Jokari Beatty, he will have that makerspace and be leading that makerspace. And he shared how he, as an inventor, has had a difficult time finding places where he can invent. Nifley, Dr. Stephen Nifley, is going to be offering therapy in our space. So while your child is going to a class, you can be meeting with a therapist for free. That looks like you. That's huge. The Lee Initiative has already promised to work with us to build our commercial kitchen. And they'll also be working with Good Food Lou, and they collaborate to work with residents and small business owners to learn how to create food service items. And then the Black Market already has so many rich relationships with Black business owners, so we'll work with them to stock our shelves. Thank you for asking.
Hi. I'm Jasmine with Black Market. And if you don't know Play Cousins Collective, please, everybody, look it up. My question for you, Kristen, is, are you trying to get us to have a campus or something similar, something bigger? Because everything that we are doing is bigger, but are you trying to get us a campus? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's a good point, because Russell is all about ownership, and we want a space where you as residents feel like you have ownership. So it won't be, these are our program hours, this is when you can come in. We have a space that belongs to you, that's open. Your children can come, you can have a cup of coffee and get on the computer and work while your children are playing outside. Or you can find a quiet space and pull out a book. You know, you can use the commercial kitchen to pass down your family recipes to your family. It's our space. We don't have to worry about that access or dressing a certain kind of way or talking a certain kind of way, because we value the way that we dress and the way that we talk, right? We'll be celebrated in this space and we'll own it together.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for one more question. It's okay, look, we have 5 minutes. We can utilize every second.
I'm gonna talk loud. This is a follow-up question. So earlier the sister asked about community land trust. So would you have any issues or concerns with this property being part of a community land trust or co-ownership model?
I am very interested to co-own a space. I am super pro, Play Cousins is super pro community land trust. We want to own the space with you. We want to weather the storm of gentrification with you.
So keeping the ball rolling, we do have Dave Christopher from AMP coming up to do their pitch, so welcome him into the space.
Hello, everybody. So my slides won't be as cool and as pretty, but I mean, you know, we'll get it done. So Dave Christopher C., Executive Director and Founder of AMP. So we're going to start with the power of tech and business, digital literacy and business development. And the programs that we want to talk about, if we want in that space, are related to our technology workforce training and our business incubator. So this is our team. And so I didn't actually put the names of the folks here because I just wanted you to see what comes with what we're trying to do and the things that we need. So when we talk about generational wealth and having economic power and all those things, these are all the different partners. And some of these folks are actually AMP employees, some of those are partners throughout the city, but we bring technology, administration, funding, coaching, wealth. You can't see it down at the bottom, but wealth, wellness, branding, legal, accounting, advocacy, banking, and all those things. So that's the team. So what we did is we gathered all the people that are the smartest people to get this thing done, because this is a real serious problem. One of the things I want to say really quickly as we go through, you can go to the next slide, is that one of the things that's really important to me is that we stop acting like this problem that we face is not about the money. It really is absolutely about the money. When we create economic power and ownership, then we have the power to change things. So the space that we're talking about, the place that we're talking about, is a 15,000 square foot space, either 3 stories or 2 stories spread out over a particular space. And so on the main floor to your left, top left, on the main floor is a cafe, or like a workspace where you can come and you can just kind of work in that space. But also in that space is a drop-in childcare, because we know that childcare is an issue in our community where people are trying to work. And so you have some place, and that's actually connected right to the coffee shop. And on the second floor, there's a co-working space and a training center. And so that's where the technology workforce development training will go on. And we want to do that with young people. We also want to do digital literacy. In West Louisville, we have what's referred to as a digital divide. 85% of the homes don't have access to reliable internet, and most homes don't have anything beyond a cell phone in terms of technology. One of the things we know about our young people is white students at 12 years old are usually introduced to technology and then fostered through all the way to their high school year and into college in technology, because they have those things around. A black student may get a robotics camp in the summer or a coding class or something like that, but there's nothing that fosters that
in the home, and that's why you don't see a lot of the black students going into computer science and computer engineering. And now the issue with that is that in the technology world, you have to have 4 to 6, most times you want to have 4 to 6 years of experience in technology or a 4-year degree in something like computer science, computer engineering. Through this training center, we would take young people through internships, training in internships and technology programs, and then foster them through to college, through high school, either go directly into a career and do certificate stacking, or to go into a 4-year degree. On the 4th floor, because I believe in all of our projects, even if, what I'm saying about nonprofits is, you must understand, 501c3 is a tax status. We are a business, and so you have to have a revenue model. On the 3rd floor, in some place in this space, there'll be space for people to rent office spaces, right? So you can go to the next slide. That's what the space looks like at its full. That's 15,000 square foot, 3-story. If you've seen anything that we've done as far as AMP, we believe in quality because we deserve quality. We won't cut corners. We won't get by. I tell people all the time, ask for what you need to guarantee the outcome. Don't ask for what you need to get by. I was talking to somebody earlier today about your budget should look like what you want it to be, not what it is. Because what it is not what it's going to be. So put the numbers in there and ask for the money. And so I know this number is pretty close because we actually have an RP out for another project that we're doing. So the cost is like $7.5 million. Next slide, please. So why Madison Street? It's in the heart of West Louisville. I have a plan, it's sort of a trick, and so don't tell anybody I told you this. The plan is to get rid of the 9th Street divide. I want you to start east and start driving west, and then once you get deep into the west, you don't even realize that you cross 9th Street. And so that's what we're talking about, the heart of West Louisville. Again, I told you earlier about bridging the digital divide and creating generational wealth and building black legacy businesses. Next slide. And I think that the last question was something about how it aligns. Yeah, how it aligns. Because we want to build generational wealth, economic empowerment, living wage careers in technology. I grew up poor in Gary, Indiana. Both my parents were disabled as I was a kid, and I was working at 12 years old. When I learned technology, I found a coding book in a drawer one day and started messing around with it. Once I learned technology jobs started living wage. We have a technology training program for adults right now. We send them through a data analytics and data immersive, and in 12 weeks, we pay them 40 hours a week, $15 an hour plus free medical, and in less than a year, they're in the job paying $65,000 a year. So they went from low income to no income in less than a year, a living wage. And we built the business incubator because we didn't want to strip people from the community, and so we want to support people in the community in those businesses, and that's where the entrepreneurship piece comes from. If I've got the money in my pocket to buy a house and keep a house, and I was talking to somebody earlier today at another event about this, when we talk about affordable housing, and this may not seem popular to people when I say it, but when we talk about affordable housing is housing that you can afford. That doesn't mean the house has to go lower. You need to be able to afford it. And the way you're able to afford it is you have the money to afford it. And that's what I want to work on and stop having these temporary things that we face out that we talk about where we're talking about food pantry. Well, all those are necessary, but they were never meant to be permanent. And so we have to realize that this is about generational wealth, economic empowerment, and all those things. Next slide. That leads to independence. And it's always been, if you know us, we're committed to community. Not knowing and understanding something is never as bad as not asking. The wrong question is the one you don't ask. If you want to get in touch with us, please do. Ready? Love y'all.
The land lease question.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about not only the land?
I don't need to own nothing. I mean, seriously, that's the least of my worries. I got plenty. I don't need to own nothing. And this is what I'll tell people all the time, is that if you say it's about the people, then do the things that say it's about the people. And here's the other part about it. If you want, because people come to me all the time with entrepreneurship saying, well, I want to give back to people. No, you don't. You want to make money, and that's okay. Like, say that. Don't say what you think Mr. Dave wants to hear. Say that. I don't need any more land. I don't. And so I'm fine with that.
We got one question in the back.
What's going on?
Is it my guy? Is this that guy?
Why are you trying to silence her? Let that lady speak.
I had a
question about what sorts of roles or purposes for this location will you be able to kind of fill gaps or expand upon that you are not able to at your other locations right now?
No, I mean, this is going to sound really bad when I say this. We're going to do what we need to do regardless of, because my philosophy has always been, I'm not worried about what's to the left and right of me. I have something I need to do and I'm going to do it. And so we want to be in this space, but we're going to continue to do it however we can do it. So there's some, we're listening for other opportunities and for other things that people want us to do, absolutely. But right now, I know from experience that technology and entrepreneurship are the way to ownership and independence. And so we're not looking to try to create anything new. What we've been doing since 2014 when I founded the organization is working, and we just want to build on that. We just want to grow and expand that. Right now we have a business incubator where we can only handle, we're only supposed to do 20 businesses, but I can't, people know me, I can't not do it. And so we end up with 34 businesses going through the incubator, a year-long program, because we needed to. We want to get to 100, then we want to get to 200. And one other thing I want to say real quickly too is that this is not a problem unique to Louisville, Kentucky. This is all over the country. And so we're trying to create a model, a national model that, and it needs to be simple enough. And when I say simple, I don't mean that you're not smart because you can't do it. But it needs to be a model where people have limited resources and can still do this thing. And so when you saw that first slide with all those different partners, in our model says you reach out for these people right here, and this is your team. If you can't afford to hire this person or that person, those are the things you need. So hopefully I answered your question.
We got a question in the back, and we have 3 minutes left, y'all.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
My question is kind of, for all the organizations to kind of think about, but I'm going to ask you, will you be prioritizing hiring Russell residents with like sustainable living wages?
Oh yeah, I'm all about living wages. Like for real, like that's a big thing for me. Like, and I'll say this, and I don't think my employees mind this. At AMP, nobody that works for AMP makes less than $25 an hour, period, plus free medical. Like it doesn't make sense for us to be out in the community saying that we love you, we care about you, and then I've got people working for me making a poverty wage. It doesn't make sense. And so and the people that we work with, the kids we work with in our music academy, the people that we bring into our entrepreneurship program and our technology program are people from this community. And we're trying to, that's the goal, is to get because here we're not an employment agency. We can't hire everybody. What we're trying to do is create, and here's the thing about the technology training program, is we've got partnerships with Humana, Brown-Forman, Young Brands, all these organizations that are guaranteeing jobs. They're holding jobs for us. And all we have to do is train. That's why we can put that investment in. We can say, okay, I'm gonna pay you 40 hours a week, $15 an hour, plus free medical. Because when you graduate, because I want you to focus on this, when you graduate and you pass that assessment, there's a job that starts at $65,000 waiting for you. And we just need to expand that.
All right, we have 1 more minute, 30-second question.
I won't make it too long. How you doing, Mr. Dave? Charles Burns here.
What's up, brother?
Singer, songwriter, actor, and also crypto consultant, specializing in economics and development.
All right.
So this is particularly for you, your organization, dealing with music and also economics and economic growth. So, Mr. Dave, a question for you is, pertaining to music and also economic growth, have you had anybody or any business come to you with new economic opportunities backing everything, such as cryptocurrency and also NFTs and new economic states that are coming, that are forming right as we sit down with the regulations with the United States? Have you had any businesses come to you to find a way to teach the kids about it, and also the teachers, etc.? And I just want to let you know right now, we're working with Evolve 502 and teaching the kids VR, augmented reality, and also mixed reality, and also NFTs and crypto, and they're catching on very, very fast. So fast that now the teachers want to learn. And so
thank you so much. We're going to put a pin on that question and come back to it because we need to move on, okay? All right, thank you so much, Mr. Dave.
I just wanted to say it so I'll put it on everybody's mind because it's
and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Give it up one more time for Ant. All right. Shout out to Evolve 502 in the space. Shout out to Councilwoman Donna Purvis. I heard she was in the space as well. All right. So we're just going to keep the ball rolling. I think next we have JCPS up. So let's go ahead and welcome JCPS into the space.
All right, good evening. I'm Marty Polio, Superintendent of JCPS. Thank you for having me. All right, stars of the show, Grace James Academy of Excellence, young ladies. How about that? They want to speak, but I said I got 7 minutes, and if you know me and Dr. Marshall, neither one of us do anything in 7 minutes. So we are going to have to move quickly. I'd also like to introduce the rest of our JCPS team. Wave your hand back there, JCPS folks that are with us tonight. Thank you, and especially Ms. Diane Porter, board chair, who is with us tonight. So thank you very much for joining us here, Ms. Porter. We are here to talk to you tonight about Grace James Academy of Excellence. First and foremost, congratulations to all the presenters tonight. What fantastic presentations. We're partners with many of them, all who care about the community and kids. So very meaningful partnerships from all of you, and great job. We're here to talk about Grace James of Excellence. It is an amazing school right now. It is 6th and 7th grade. We just finished up with the Grace James Academy. We are adding the 8th grade next year, so it'll be 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. It is a school that focuses on STEM, all females students. It is the sister school, so to speak, of W.E.B. Du Bois, about a year or two behind them as far as when we have started the school. But they are doing amazing work. I can tell you this right now. The #1 middle school in growth for reading and math on our scores map, Grace James Academy of Excellence for 6th and 7th grade. You go into the school led by Rhonda Cosby, you see amazing things going on right now. In short, so I can move quickly and get to Dr. Marshall. In West Louisville, there has not been a new middle school built here since before 1952. Western Middle School was the last one built. It is time to change that. We have 2 major projects that we need to invest in West Louisville. First of all is a brand new West Louisville Comprehensive Middle School. We are working on that as we speak as well. Secondly is a full campus for Grace James. It is going 6 through 12. Our board has already approved that. So we need an innovative, thank you. We need an innovative space. If you know Principal Cosby, she wants innovation. This is all about STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. These young ladies are doing amazing things. We need to be in West Louisville. We would love to be here at Russell and make sure that we have seats for young ladies from Russell going to this wonderful magnet school. And I think that can happen. I know it can happen. And so we are looking for an innovative space. The Madison property is perfect for us. We have 150,000 square feet school. Now, it is not big enough to be your traditional campus that is spread out, so it will be an innovative space that will go up, but we also want to partner with the community and partner with several organizations that are here tonight. We want to have a full-size gymnasium, and also, this is what's going to set this apart, a fine arts center that will be a shared space with the community to have music festivals, plays, musicals, all of those things that we think are so important in this community. And we also want a green space for students and a community to utilize. Next slide, please. So this is our vision. You can see the type of innovative space we are looking for. Really open-aired, a lot of natural light coming in. The maker spaces, the labs that students can do this work, real life, innovative type activities. You can see what we would like the front of the school to look like. Beautiful school. We also, as you can see in the top right corner, a fine arts center to share with the community as well. Next slide, please. So with the cost of our project, $50 million. We have it earmarked right now to build Grace James, a campus. We are building a Grace James. We hope to do it here, but if it's here or somewhere else, we have $50 million. Now that price has probably gone up because everything to build now is much more expensive, but we have the funds ready to go to do this. As soon as we find the space, we are ready to go, $50 million. And I will say this is a sustainable project. In 50 years from now, if we build Grace James Academy of Excellence, 50 years from now, it will be funded at $7 to $8 million a year right here in this community with this beautiful space. We also want to, like I said, Fine Arts Center. We want to have a space for community partners as well. Maybe even some that we can collaborate that have presented tonight that we could put on that property as well, and I'll talk to you about this additional annual investment. To finish up and tell you a little bit more about the importance, I'd like to introduce Dr. John Marshall, who will finish up this evening.
All right, so we're going to talk about Black excellence. I think you see it in the making when we stand with these young ladies standing behind me. We understand that as we invest in Russell, the main investment must be our students. These young ladies, you already heard, are outperforming, if you will, the growth of all of our students. What JCPS can do and what JCPS will continue to do under the leadership of Dr. Polio, Diane Porter, and others, is invest in our students. The rich history in Russell speaks to why these young ladies are standing behind them. The parents that stand up, that want this here. Some of them don't live in Russell, but they understand the importance of Russell because they grew up here now. So they want their babies to come back and see this kind of work. This is the work that we must do, and the partnerships, Dr. Polio talked about it. Whether we get it or not, a lot of the people that spoke are already in partnership with us, and we need to do this more than ever right now with the things going on. The ladies behind me are activists. We say that they're academic activists, and they are not playing. They're in purple suits or purple gowns because we're putting them in STEAM. We're putting them in the arts. We're putting them in engineering. And again, they're leading the district with their growth. Next slide. So the Grace James, how does this support Black wealth? If Russell is a neighborhood, the schoolhouse is called a schoolhouse for a reason. We would be one of the best neighbors in this neighborhood because it would be an open situation. Everyone is invited, everyone is expected, and excellence is what we already have growing, and we definitely want to do that here at Russell unapologetically for this. And I want you to understand this if you don't know. We're talking about STEAM, and every day, all day, they're learning. It's gender-centric as well. It's not only Afro-centric at Grace James, it's gender-centric. So they're learning about themselves. Next slide. And then we have a $500 million investment that we're bringing to the table. So we understand that this is stabilizing and increasing property values. This is competitive paying wages. The jobs that are open, we have Dr. Green-Webb back there. We're looking to support and employ Russell people to support that inside the school and work with our future scientists, leaders, lawyers, etc. And a critical mass of activities inside the building. Imagine a schoolhouse as it used to be that never closed. Imagine a schoolhouse as it used to be that was open for all and all things were happening inside of it. That's what we are saying needs to happen inside of this school, and that is the positivity. And Ms. Porter always talks about a school is the heartbeat of the community. This is what we're trying to do here with Grace James. As it aligns to our pledge of Russell, one another embodies principles and stabilizes, creates, and grows.
Oh, as a reminder, we have 5 minutes, okay, for questions. I don't want to tussle with nobody, but we are going to be respectful of everybody's time, okay? So, I think it's up. We got Mr. Frank.
You mentioned the Fine Arts Academy or the Fine Arts Center being part of the community. What is JCPS's vision of community involvement in what's going on at Grace James beyond the academic, in the more collaborative efforts? What do you see as the community?
So, what we really want, and we have a model like it was first built out at Norton Commons with the Y, the collaboration with the Y that we are now building with West Louisville Y on 18th and Broadway. And so that collaboration allows students to use that during the day, and obviously the community to use the Y throughout the day and into the evening. We would want the same with our Fine Arts Center, which would mean our students would obviously use that during the day, and then obviously have some night activities as well as they put on their own plays. But we would want this to be open to community events every other night of the year. And so having, whether that be a play, a musical, or some, events coming in, graduations, all kinds of ceremonies like that, we want to be a part of that. And we want our young ladies in Grace James to be a part of that as well.
Do you see a need for all of the ground space that JCPS activities are taking place as having to be your name on the deed, or what do you see in terms of community land trust?
Yeah, so there's some challenges with that that's a little bit different because we have an entity called the Kentucky Department of Education that approves that. And we did this with the Y. And so we are working and exploring right now to see if the leasing is a possibility. It's not used with schools at all in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, but the KDE has pledged to work with us. Now, what we did at the Y in both spots as we split the land up and let the Y own, and then we owned a piece of it as well. So we are open to either one of those. I'll say this, it's not my expertise. Obviously lawyers get involved in that in the KDE, but they have committed to be partners with us to figure out the best way and the easiest way to get this done legally.
And structurally, spatially, you were saying it's probably going to be multiple stories, or open to that. What kind of height, what kind of space are you looking at?
So total 150,000 square feet. Usually what we look for in a school, that used to be required. Fortunately, they've backed off of that at the Kentucky Department of Education. For a middle school is about 20 acres. We obviously, and if you go into any urban area where they're building new schools, you just don't find many spaces with 20 acres that are available. And so building up is usually, so we're probably talking a 4-floor structure, and then a second, connected to it, but down on the first floor would be the Fine Arts Center and the gymnasium as well.
That you'll be building a neighborhood school, considering that the West End only has 3 schools, and if every child wanted to go to a middle school, it wouldn't be enough middle school. So could you tell me how that plays?
Sure. That's so we have two projects we are looking for, which Grace James, and the second being the neighborhood West Louisville school that you're talking about. We are searching right now between 10 to 20 acres for that facility. So we will need a bigger plot of land for that, which we are working on right now in conjunction with this too. So that is a project that we are committed to. We have funds set aside for that as well, and it will be built in the next 24 months.
You're talking about the neighborhood school?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope you do it.
Please do. Please do.
One last question, one more minute, Gabe.
Cool. Hello? All right, so if JCPS and Grace James is on the site, what constraints, if any, does that place on what other businesses or what other developments can share that site?
Yeah, and just being very candid with you, I mean, when we are talking about a school for students that's going to have 1,000 square feet and is going to have a fine arts center, we will need a vast majority of the land. That is one of the things we will need. That doesn't preclude to say that that there can't be a second structure with some other opportunities in there, but I will say this, we can negotiate on the actual acreage of how much it will be, but to get to this is what we want, it would require most of the acreage.
So most of the acreage of the Great Street, right?
Correct.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Great. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right, so now I want to bring up Gabe James, or Gabe Jones, if you'd like to join me up here for an announcement. No? Oh, never mind. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I want Cassandra instead. Well, he would start sweating, then you look. It's okay. So, our survey is open. So it will be open for you to share your feedback. Each picture is going to be stationed at a table around the perimeter. So, oh, okay, I got it.
All right, so good evening, everyone. I'm Cassandra Webb. I'm the director of the Place of Promise Initiative for Cities United, and I'm a co-lead for Russell Place of Promise. So as Christian was starting, each picture is going to be stationed at a table around the perimeter, so they're actually going to be in the front right here. And you all can meet and ask additional questions. You can also share comments and thoughts and ideas that you all may have for the pictures as well. Each station includes flip chart paper. Please write your questions down on the flip chart paper. Please, we want to be able to document the questions that you all have, because these questions could also be really important for us as an RPOP team to document, and so we can help better understand and inform the next pitch session that we do. Our survey is officially open, so we'll make sure on the next slide that you all get that QR code and you all can start completing that survey. You can also stop by the RPOP table. Can you raise your hand? Maya and Kamara and Marcus are in the back. You can complete the survey on the tablets that they have available back there. The survey will be open for 7 days. So if you need some more time today to think through the presentations, to ask more questions, to talk to other people, it's okay. You don't have to complete it today. 7 days. Also tell people that this has been streamed on Facebook Live. So this is recorded. You all can go back to it. Other people can go back to it. It'll be on YouTube. And so it'll be up for 7 days. The results of the survey will be shared on our social media pages. So if you are not following us on social media, please do that right now. Pull out your phone if you got it. Follow us on Facebook at Russell, A Place of Promise. On Facebook, it's Russell, A Place of Promise. If you're on Instagram, follow us at Russell, A Place of Promise as well. And if you're on Twitter, follow us at Russell Promise. And then also sign our RPOP partnership pledge. There's a QR code in the back, so you all can scan that, as well as the brochure. Our banner white in the front is showing that. Yes. And I also want to make sure that we do a couple more shout-outs. First, I want to recognize the staff of Russell Place of Promise, the team. So if you all can stand, all the team members of Russell Place of Promise. Yes. So we have Christian Butler, Jackie Floyd, Teresa Zawaki, Danae Marshall, Daphne Walker, Maya White, Dr. Kamara Douglas, and Marcus Stubbs, as well as Letitia Buckner. All right, please say hi to them and thank them for being able to put on this event tonight. I also want to give another shout out to our residents that are in this space. Please raise your hand if you are a Russell resident. Thank you all for being here. And then I want to give another shout out to our advisory board members. I know Ms. Ruth Daniels, who's also a Russell resident, is in this space. Thank you, Ms. Ruth. Ms. Alice Houston is here, advisory board member. And then David Shadburn also is here. Thank you all. Anything else, Teresa?
I just wanted to point out that our home, Russell Homecoming, is coming back, 2nd annual, so be prepared in September. And then our work group graduation and community presentation is Saturday, July 16th. We have these flyers on our table, so make sure you all are in those spaces to celebrate with us. And I think now you guys can mix and mingle. My brother in the back, please ask David that question that you didn't get to ask, and go to the other booths. Yes.
And if anyone missed the news, Justice Jackson was sworn in.
Mr. Frank McNeil said that Justice Jackson was sworn in today, so we want to highlight that as well. Thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bring me up here.